It's the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. This is indeed the Fade 5 Podcast on this hashtag Tequila Thursday, mi amigos, presented by Suavecito Tequila. Go out and pick up a bottle of Reposado or Añejo, the Suavecito, por favor, tonight at Total Wine and More. And if your liquor store doesn't have it, demand it. It's fantastic stuff. And as I always note, I love the vanilla notes as they tickle down the throat upon the first sippage of the Suavecito. Lundy, we are, of course, featuring a Super Bowl prop a day. We're calling it the super duper prop of the day because I probably just violated some copyright laws by saying the phrase that pays for the league, and that is the SB, or now the BG. I can't even say that, according to my current employer there at Stadium. So the showdown in the Sonoran, I've actually called it the Kelsey Brothers Bowl, the Andy Reid Bowl, the Clash of the Cacti, whatever you want to deem that certain contest in the desert. We have a player prop today, and we've been doing some stuff kind of novelty off the board all week long. But today, I'm going to feature one of my favorite plays currently available at DraftKings Sportsbook, and that is Kenneth Gainwell. And what a fantastic last name, and appropriate enough for this prop. Give me the over 11.5 receiving yards. Again, minus 115 at DraftKings. You look at Gainwell. Should be able to feast in this game, much like he did against San Francisco, which he had a couple of catches and went over this number. But he has ran at least 10 routes in 5 of his last 6 games. He's splitting time, of course, with Miles Sanders, a bit of Boston Scott inside the red zone, but he's getting around 35 to 40% of the snap share. And the reason why I love and adore this prop so much, if you're a frequent listener here of the Fade 5, I have been picking on Kansas City with pass-catching running backs all season long because no team in the regular season allowed more receptions to the running back position, 107 in total, in fact. And again, I'm no mathematician, so doing some calculations here. 6.3 catches per game. They also allowed the second most receiving yards per game at RBs at a 45.8 receiving yards per game clip. So knowing all the nitty-gritty, knowing all the particulars there for Kenneth Gainwell, early fade or follow, my man. Are you going to come with me on that over 11.5 receiving yards and whatever you want to call that stupid game in the desert, minus 115 at DraftKings?
This is boring. Where'd the kneel down and the coin toss go? What is this crap?
I'm trying to make money, man.
I'm trying to make money on the other stuff. Oh, man, this is so boring. I'm really disappointed in you. Forget it. You do whatever you want with that one. I got a better one, Brad.
All right.
Over at FanDuel, plus 108 odds. Will both teams make a field goal of 33 yards or longer? I say yes. Yes.
Yes, I say that is a downright attractive wager to make.
There
and
you
I
go.
also say yes.
Okay. Plus 108. You're over here like trying to be all serious and crap. There's still like 110 days until kickoff. Okay. And you're over here like being legit with your player props. I'm over here finding specials. I saw one earlier today. Actually, I think it was also at FanDuel. Let's see. On the same day, it's I think it's Giannis to score 30 and Pacheco to have 70 yards rushing. I'm looking for stuff like that. If I'm betting on the big Kelsey Reid bowl game, whatever we call it.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the fun stuff. I'll worry about this serious stuff that you've got next week. I'm into the random props right now. Hell, I'm in here trying to figure out what's going to happen in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am this morning. Okay. I don't know. You're getting too serious on me.
Well, I also will have a lecture on the industrialization age during the Gilded Period in American history a little bit later on this pod.
By the way, your prop on Gainwell is correct. Take the over, folks. The routes he's been running, the targets, the fact that Kansas City this season given up 43.3, I think, through the air. Does that sound about right, Brad?
Yep. Yep.
I had some notes written down earlier this week, and I know it was right around 43. So yes, play that one. But as an early bonus time, I found that field goal prop, and I thought that was kind of fun. 33 yards or longer. Both teams have to have at least one, and that's plus odds over at FanDuel right now.
Yeah, and for one day only, kicker will, in fact, both of them be actual human beings.
Kickers are people, too.
I'm with you on that. I'm also with several wagers in the hoops world of this hashtag Tequila Thursday. Bartender, pour us another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
Oh, my God, it was yet another profitable night for your boy in the world of college basketball. Another profitable episode yesterday. If you followed instead of faded most of my selections that were featured on the podcast, we're up close to 60 units. Yes, a plus 60 nearly on this season. And, of course, you can always follow all my picks absolutely free and Lundy's as well on Twitter. Mine at Noisy Huevos and his at Nate Lundy. So let's go out west. And there's a lot of West Coast action, as usual, on a Thursday night. And let's feature an OGP. And maybe Lundy's going to come with me on this one. Let's feature the last game on the board, Santa Clara at Gonzaga. Who's been a bit of a disappointment this year because their guard play has been wildly erratic. So on the OGP, give me the Broncos, the Fighting Steve Nashes, plus 18.5 on an alt line. And on an alt total, I'm going to take it down to 152.5 and slam that over. Both those events, Kurtz, even money, plus 100 at BetMGM. These two teams already played in the South Bay, and in that matchup, Gonzaga barely squeaked by with a victory, 81-76. You look at some of their advanced Linux and the WCC, they're the best offensive team, as usual, in the conference, but they are very suspect defensively, as they are number 7 in effective field goal percentage defense in WCC play, and they are giving up 40.8% along the arc. And that is a major concern. Now, Santa Clara doesn't jack a ton of threes, but Pajimski, the Illini transfer, has been outstanding this season. He's averaging over 19 points per game in conference action and can drain some of those triples. He is wired to score. Santa Clara is a team wired to score. They are number 3 in WCC play and adjusted offensive efficiency, and they're decent defensively. Number 5, an effective field goal percentage. They're shooting 34.6% from way downtown, so they should take advantage of that leaky defense that the Zags usually exude from outside. Not only that, too, but Santa Clara's played well on the road this season. Number 24 to adjusted offensive efficiency in road matchups, but defensively, number 261 in that category, away again from the South Bay. But 18.5 points, that's a hell of a lot of cushion. That's Lake numero uno, and I believe because the pace of play is going to be fast, both these teams way up there in the tempo ranks. Give me the over 152.5. Both those events occur plus 100 at BetMGM. Lundy, come with me on the late night tip. Fade or follow.
18.5, huh? I'm good with the over. I forget the total part of it. 18.5. What happens if that spotty guard play you've been talking about all of a sudden is not so spotty? Do you think they can figure it out? Do you think I'll take it? I'll take the 18.5. I'll take the over's fine. The second leg, I'm good with that. You figured out the total side of it again with the pace of play and the shot making ability. I'm not worried about the total part of it. I'm going to roll with this with Santa Clara. Can we do a baker's dozen? How about 13 feels like a good winning total. That gets you within your 18.5. I'll roll with you on this one only because I gave you so much shit at the start of the pod.
Buck up! Broncos, get it done in Spokane.
Number 4.
All right, staying out west, and of course, a team that I love and adore. I am an honorary Fighting Rainbow Warrior because I have bet way too much money, and occasionally they've screwed me on Hawaii this season, but hopefully they will not put it in the wrong place tonight, as I am going to take Hawaii -1 on the road against UC Davis -110 at BetMGM. Hawaii, one of the better defensive teams, not only in the Big West, but the entire country. Within Big West play, they're number one in effective field goal percentage defense, giving up just 44.6% from two and 26.8% from three. They have an outstanding three-point marksman in Hepa, who's drained 37.7% of his shots from along the perimeter, and that is the greatest weakness of UC Davis, as they are dead last in the Big West in three-point percentage defense. Overall defensively, very questionable as well. Number 10 in effective field goal percentage D in conference action, though they get after it on the offensive glass. But they could be down a couple of starters who missed the last game due to various injuries. So we'll have to wait and see if those guys are going to be available to tip. And even if they're back in the lineup and they're at full strength, I think Hawaii's defensive prowess, I think the pressure they apply, the turnovers that they cause, their ability to seal off the glass, which is going to be critical in this game, and Hepa's performance from outside will be the difference. Just get a W, man, and make him by more than a point so we avoid the push. So, Rainbow Warriors, aloha! I am on them -1 at UC Davis, -110 at BetMGM. Lundy, fair to follow.
The Hawaii football team, doesn't do a lot for us, but the basketball team sure has. And look, you said it at the beginning. I was gonna toot the horn for you, but you're already up a ridiculous number of units, and eventually you will cool off. It happens. Oh, yeah. For example, I cooled off on hockey last night. The one gamer that I gave out last night sucked. How was I supposed to know Tage Thompson was going to get hurt? But that aside, you will eventually cool off. But until that happens, ride it. And I feel the same way with Hawaii. They won back on December 29th. That one was at home. Hawaii's 2-2, I think, on the road in true road games so far this season. So you always get a little nervous. But I love the defense that they're playing. You've pointed it out before. They're forcing turnovers. They're making teams make mistakes. Even though they're on the road, take Hawaii -1. If you get a little nervous, flip it, alt line it to like Hawaii plus 3.5 or 4.5, put it together with something else. But I think they should be able to win this one outright. This is a singular bet you can make.
I'll say aloha or mahalo to Hawaii.
Number 3.
All right, let's go to the Pac-12 and a line that I simply don't understand. And this could be too good to be true and may ultimately bite me in the keister. But I am going to lay the 6.5 at BetMGM at -110 on the Utah Utes to hold home court and win with relative ease, like most opponents have against the Stanford Cardinal. Why do I like Utah? Well, they've already played, and Utah won in Stanford's house, 71-66, back on New Year's Eve. And I love the three-point shooting ability of Carlson, Madsen, and Stefanovic. I expect them to potentially go off in this game. Now, you look at Utah within Pac-12 action, they're shooting 65.4%. From two, at least they have in the last couple of games, including that game earlier this season against Stanford, where they also hit 42.9% of three-point attempts. They are also number one in the Pac-12 in effective field goal percentage defense, giving up just 26.4% from way downtown. Stanford, yes, they've won their last 4 games, but they barely skirted by Chicago State at home. I know, because I wagered on the Cougars in that game. They won the last 4, but, including that head-scratching game against Chicago State, but they are dead last in three-point percentage D. They're number 11 in the Pac-12 in effective field goal percentage D, and number 11 as well in two-point percentage defense. So ignore the fact that Utah is, 10-1 at home this year. It's great. That's outstanding. They played well. But what is most important to extend that to 11-1 is making it rain from outside. As I mentioned, Carlson, Madsen, Stefanovic should be able to open up the skies and wreak havoc against Stanford. So fade or follow, Lundy. You're going to go with the Utes -6.5 at home against the Cardinal -110 at BetMGM.
Brad, I've got an early birthday present for you. The spread's at 5.5 now.
What? Why?
I don't know, but the spread's down to 5.5.
Okay, all over that.
From the time that you put together the podcast this morning until we actually record, you've actually got another point. I'm all about this one, and as a matter of fact, coming up in bonus time, we're going to get crazy creative in Pac-12 basketball tonight. I will share that one with you. That, fingers crossed, because I've had some good luck doing this lately, that will be a very nice payday. Lay the points with this one. I'm as confused as you are, and the fact that it's down again to a 5.5. Oh, yeah. All over it with the Utes. Stanford, I don't trust them, especially on the road.
Maybe the entire Utes team is somehow drunk on Suavecito, and that's the reason why the line is tumbling. Would only make sense. It is a hashtag Tequila Thursday, after all, and this is the Fade 5 podcast presented by Suavecito Tequila. Go out and pick up a bottle tonight, make it an añejo, and sip joyfully. If you don't know anything about Suavecito, let me give you a little bit of a background here. In 2015, Forbes magazine in New York City contacted 10 tequila experts around the country, one in Cali, Texas, Florida, New York, people who know the love juice, and they asked these experts one simple question: what is the best tasting tequila sold in these United States? And 1 week later, on the front page of Forbes was a picture of Suavecito Añejo. Grab some love juice tonight and throw a betting fiesta on this hashtag Tequila Thursday. Get Suavecito at any Total Wine and More store or ask for it where you are. We consider it a favor. Gracias.
Number 2.
I'm marching on here on the Fade 5 pod on this hashtag Tequila Thursday, and I'm going to do some shots on the under down there in Tucson as Arizona is hosting the Oregon Ducks. And, I think they're going to turn them into Fagua, quite honestly, in this game. But I don't think the scoring is going to be very high. So that's why I'm on the under 151.5 minus 110. At DraftKings. You look at Arizona, and strangely, they are playing defense over their last 4 games. Listen to this, folks, and hold on to something, because the earth is going to move beneath your feet. They've allowed just 0.873 points per possession, which is highly unusual for a team that were usually in the 70 to 100 range in adjusted defensive efficiency and non-conference and really early Pac-12 play overall. Arizona relishes in up-tempo pace. They're number 11 on the season in adjusted tempo, according to KenPom.com. And in Pac-12 play, offensively, they're not shooting the three particularly well, just right around 31%, but that has ticked up from earlier in Pac-12 action. They're still number 6 in effective field goal percentage offense. And then you look, too, on the inside portion, that's where they really make their hay with Tubelis, who's been a double-doubles machine. They are number 1 is the Oregon Ducks, meanwhile, an effective field goal percentage offense in league action. And really where they make their hay is scoring the ball inside to the Ducks. But Tubelis and Balo are big-body guys who are adequate, and that's really doing them a disservice. They're more than adequate defenders in the interior. So if the defensive chops that we've seen from the Wildcats, those sharpened claws in that capacity, show up tonight at home, I think Arizona is going to win, and maybe handily. But Oregon, I highly doubt, is going to crack 65 points in this game. So I think this total is way too high. Zona has it the under 54.6% of the time. So Lundy, fade or follow, Ducks, Wildcats, Bill Walton in the house, under 151.5 minus 110 at DraftKings.
Of course he's going to be in the house. That's what's going to make this so much fun. I don't even care about the basketball game. I watch the broadcast for Bill Walton. I do. He's a national treasure. As far as I'm concerned, like when I die, I want somebody to figure out a way to get him to speak at, because I have no idea what he'll say. It just would be fun. I don't even know the man. I just want to know that he could provide commentary at my funeral. That's really all I want. I'm all about the under. I'm all about the under in this one. The interesting thing between these two teams is the fact that in the last 6 meetings, the underdogs actually covered. The underdog's actually 5-1 ATS in their last 6 meetings, which will play into my bonus time here coming up in just a minute. But in terms of the total, I agree with you. I think they've set this one too high. Let's see, maybe just a little bit of defense out of Arizona. Maybe what we've seen the last couple of games is not a fluke. If that can continue, we're good. If all of a sudden the Wildcats roll over like they want somebody to pet their little tummies, yeah. If that happens, shit, they're going to blow this total out. But let's hope that it's not a fluke with the defense Arizona's been playing.
Bet the under and learn about land masses from Bill Walton.
Number 1.
All right, numero uno. I told you it was going to be all West Coast all the time on the pod today. And we're talking about a team that I don't think has gotten enough love on the national scene, but us numbers nerds in the analytics market certainly have fallen all over the St. Mary's Gales. And as a result, I'm going to lay a 13.5 tonight against visiting San Francisco -110 at BetMGM. It seems like a hefty amount of chalk, but I'm willing to sniff it. Because you look at St. Mary's, they're number 7 overall on the season, and Ken Palm number 4 in Bart Torvik's efficiency ranks. They played this team and clobbered them in San Fran, 78-61 in the middle of January. They hit 11 threes in that game. Overall in the season, number 37 in adjusted offensive efficiency, but number 3 in adjusted defensive efficiency. So they really clamped down on that capacity, giving up just 43.4% inside the arc and 31.3% outside of it. San Francisco is turnover prone. They have the highest offensive turnover percentage in WCC play and are north of 300 in that category on the season. And in that first game, they allowed 1.18 points per possession. I think St. Mary's smokes them tonight. So down with the Dons. Give me the Gales -13.5 at home. -110 at BetMGM. Lundy, pay to follow.
Follow. St. Mary's covered against the spread 5 straight at home. As you talked about in terms of the last contest against San Fran, they won by 17. Is that right?
Yeah, killed
78 them. Just killed them, 78-61. But again, St. Mary's is covering at home. Again, I say this all the time. If there's a couple games you like, if you want to alt line it to give yourself a cushion, feel free. But they should cover this with ease. It should be in that 17-point range, like what we were just talking about before. So take it. St. Mary's should absolutely clobber them. And you're right, they're not getting a lot of credit. 12-2 at home. I mean, this is a damn good team, man.
And one's going to be awfully dangerous and tough to eliminate come March Madness. Lundy, pour me another tequila and pour me some more bets. It's bonus time. What else you got on this hashtag Tequila Thursday?
Well, we got the formula that we like to use. Find those home favorites of, say, 7 points or more and pack them together till you get to plus odds and then stop. So I've got the slightly, not really team raisins, Brad. What would be in between the raisin and the huevo? Where would we go? That's not like dried apricots. What is, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Plums, something of that nature.
Prunes. Yeah.
There you go.
Talking about old people, like me.
Gotta stay regular.
Okay. 2 different parlays for you. One of which, the simple one that I built really early this morning. This is a 4-legger. All each of these teams need to do is win. Arizona, Gonzaga, USC, and St. Mary's. With me on those?
Yep.
You all right with USC, even against Wazoo?
You're going to hear about it here in a minute, but yeah,
okay.
I'm with you.
All 4 of those, money line only, +111. Aces are wild there, +111. Now, you really want to have fun? This is my favorite one to the night because I actually think this is going to happen. All 6 home teams in the Pac-12. All 6. Utah, Arizona State, Arizona, UCLA, CU, USC, all 6 home teams in the Pac-12, money line +207.
Ooh, that's sexy.
And
that's
the closest spread is the 5.5 that you and I were just talking about with Utah. Everybody else is 6.5 or more. So it fits into my formula, which is a home team of at least 6.5 or 7. If you pack all 6 Pac-12 teams and everybody can defend home court, +207. That's my favorite parlay of the night.
Wow. I absolutely adore that, quite frankly. Let me give you a couple NBA plays before I give you my Team Huevos parlay play of the day. And there's going to be some similarities with what Lundy just offered up. But in the NBA, Ayo Dosunmu, the former Fighting Illini, now a member of the Chicago Bulls, give me the over at plus 125 at DraftKings on 3.5 rebounds against the Hornets, who will have the second most opponent rebounds per game in their last 10 contests. Io has gone over this number in 5 of his last 8, including a pair of games against Charlotte. One during that stretch of 8 games, and one earlier this season. He had 4s. They were wild in both of those contests. So if he just matches that output a third time around against one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA, we're cashing in plus money. So I absolutely love that play in the National Basketball Association tonight. Elsewhere in college basketball, let me give you my Team Huevos parlay play of the day. All money line. So, yes, I'm going West Coast. Utah, Arizona, USC. I agree with Lundy there. And here's the twist. In the Big Ten, I'm going to take the Ohio State at home tonight against the Wisconsin Badgers in a bubble-licious matchup. And Ohio State's leading 7.5 on the standard chalk. Why? Because Wisconsin flat out cannot score. And they've been oddly vulnerable outside defensively, number 11 in the Big Ten, and 3-point percentage D. And they've been struggling to score the basketball. The number 10 or lower in 7 different offensive categories in Big Ten play. Ohio State, meanwhile, number 1 in the league in 3-point percentage offense. So Sensabaugh and McNeil and Thornton should just tee off against a downtrodden and probably NIT bound, honestly, Badgers team. So Ohio State, Utah, Arizona, USC, they all win straight up, plus 194 at DraftKings. So not quite there on the plus 200 odds that Lundy served up. Elsewhere, I like Oakland. I'm laying 2 at home against IPFW, the Mastodons. I think are going to get taken care of by the Golden Grizzlies there in Detroit. Oakland, 7-5 in the Horizon League, number 5 in offensive efficiency, number 6 in defensive efficiency in the league. They're an awful rebounding team, but it's all about Jalen Moore, who scored at least 20 points in 5 straight games. And Fort Wayne, a team that's netted 47.8% inside the arc and a number 8 in adjusted defensive efficiency inside the horizon. And then a game that I think is going to be bonkers and pinball style. It's going to really be lighting up the scoreboard. I'm taking the over on Portland and San Diego in the WCC of 161. I think this game is going to be in the 80s quite comfortably. Portland's hit the over 54.6% of the time this season. San Diego, meanwhile, has hit the over 81% of the time. It's crazy because of the style of play. Both top 85 in adjusted tempo, both top 60 in effective field goal percentage offense. They can really stroke it from way downtown, both over 72% from the charity stripe. So in a game, likely to be in the 80s. It wouldn't surprise me if it's in the 90s. I like the over Portland, San Diego, 161, minus 110 at BetMGM. All right, we're out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast on this hashtag Tequila Thursday. Drop us a rating and a review if you enjoy this program. Also, feed or follow the fellows here. I guess I'm a part of that group on Twitter. At Noisy Huevos is my Twitter handle, or Lundy's at Nate Lundy. All his free spreadsheet picks you can find there in mind on those handles as well. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.